rivers affect their natural flow, causing poor sediment flow and the excessive collection of sediment at the bottom of the reservoir. So there will be a collection of sediments at the bottom of the reservoir, resulting in the rockier streams, beds, and raised level of water. So due to the excessive collection of sediments in the bottom of the reservoir, what happens, the level of the water will the level of the water in the reservoir will raise, causing floods. And for example, the release of water from the dams during the heavy rains aggravate the flood situation in Maharashtra and Gujarat, which is the huge loss of life and property, causing huge loss of life and property out there. So these are the limitation and these are the effects, negative effects of the multi-purpose river valley project that you have to keep in mind. So here are some of the major river projects that you have to point out in the map. You can go through by yourself and you can practice at home. So this is your homework. You have to point out all these things in the map, okay, in the India map, so which is very important. Students, now we move on to the next point, that is rainwater harvesting. So rainwater harvesting is the accumulation and storage of rainwater for reuse before it's run up. So it usually means that rainwater harvesting is to store water during the rainy season for the future use. Uses include water for gardening, livestock, irrigation, etc. This is an alternative system of dealing with water shortage. So in the area where we have a water problem, we use this type of rainwater harvesting system for the use of water in the future, so that there will be no scarcity of water in the future. So rainwater harvesting methods in India. So there are so many rainwater harvesting methods in India, and number one is khadins and johars. So it is usually practiced in the regions of Rajasthan, in which the agriculture fields are converted into rainfed storage structure that allow the water stand and moisten the soil. So number two is rooftop rainwater harvesting. People living in the arid regions of Rajasthan and Gujarat, where rainfall is scanty, have found ways to store rainwater falling on the rooftop. So in this region, the people usually make water reservoir, water tanks in the roof of the houses, and they store water during the rainy season in these tanks and reservoir for the future use. And likewise, and beside the roof rainwater harvesting, there are so many other technique also that with a different name, same method with a different name in the different states of India. So all these things you can go through by yourself only. So I'll not be going to explain out here. So you can go through this by yourself. It's very simple. So moving on, we'll go to the next important point, that is advantage of rainwater harvesting. So rainwater harvesting has many advantages, like it is considered as the purest form of natural water and a major source of drinking water. So rainwater is considered as the purest form of natural water and a major source of drinking water also. So this water can be used for agriculture purposes also, and other so many domestic purposes also. Number 3 is water stored under the ground in tanks help in cooling basement rooms in the hot summer. That means in the places like Rajasthan, what happens, these techniques are usually practiced out there. So keeping the water in the roof, what happens, it helps in cooling the basement rooms during the hot summer season. So it helps in meeting our growing water needs. So it also helps in meeting our growing water needs. so that in the future there'll be no water scarcity, no more water scarcity. So in many parts of the rural and the urban India, rainwater harvesting successfully adapted to store and conserve water. So this method is usually for to store water and conserve water for the future use. For example, Gen Gendathur village in Karnataka receives an annual precipitation of 1000 mm. Every house has installed rooftop rainwater harvest system and can collect and use about 50,000 liters of water annually. Okay, so with this we have covered the chapter, that is chapter number 3 of geography. We have covered the whole chapter, that is water resources. So moving, and lastly, as a home assignment, I want you all to do and solve all, answer the questions and the map work which is in your book. And if you have a problem of for solving any, answer the questions, for that you can download my CBSE app, that I have told you earlier, and I have also told you how to use that app. You have to log in as a teacher, not as a student. That also I have told you, and I'm saying you again, you have to log in as a teacher, not as a student. Then only you will be able to get all, answer the question solved. So with that note, stay home, stay safe, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you for watching this video. I'll come up with